anything Arlene
Yeah.
you want to hear at home?
Indeed.
What?
Yeah.
People ready to start?
Yep.
Thank
Shabbat Shalom. It's so wonderful for us to be together in our Price Family Courtyard as we celebrate Shabbat. No, you are not imagining things. There's just one rabbi on the bima. There are more in our kahal, though, so I want to wish a special welcome to Rabbi Eliza and Michael Burke. So glad to have you back a part of our community and here and present. Rabbi Navarez is taking his daughter Sophie to summer camp, so they're in New York, go Padres. And Rabbi Bernstein is still recovering from her surgery, but she's making incredible progress. So for all those who have reached out with well wishes and emails and cards and calls, she is feeling it. She is feeling the love. She's feeling the healing. And we're here to celebrate Shabbat, not only here in our courtyard, but also with all those at home. So if we could turn to, let's say, this camera right in the back and wave Shabbat Shalom to all those who are joining us through the miracle of modern technology. This Shabbat, we get to take a pause, to take a breath. The root of the word Shabbat is to cease. So what is it that we are ceasing? We're ceasing our work, but we're also, I want to encourage you to cease your expectations. Whatever goals you might have set for yourself for this Shabbat, surrender to them. Allow yourself to rest, even from your own expectations, even from your own desires of what these 25 hours of Shabbat will look like. Be present and be okay with things maybe not turning out perfectly. And we welcome Shabbat with light. So I want to invite two of our newest members, Tom and Rose Dorsey, up to help light our Shabbat candles. The blessings can be found on page 2. We are so fortunate this Shabbat to welcome Shabbat with this community and this particular community in music. So to Buddy and Sebastian and Andy and Lou and Daniel and David and Gabriel and Jeff and Kate and Mila and Heidi, Shabbat Shalom. We welcome Shabbat with the words of Kabbalat Shabbat, page 14, with Shir Chadash. page 20, Lechado D. Lechado D, likrat kalai, yalalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat, nekavela. Lechado D, likrat kalai, yalalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat, nekavela. Shamor v'zachor v'dibur echad, Ishmiyanu el hameyuchad, Adonai echad, u'shemo echad, v'shemu tiferet v'litila, lechado di likrat kalai, yalalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Lechado di likrat kalai, yalalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Hitorerim, hitorerim, ki ba'orech u'miorim, uri, uri, shir daberi, kivod Adonai alayich nigla. Lechado di likrat kalai, yalalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Lechado di likrat kalai, yalalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Oi v'shalom ateret bala, gam besimcha u'vetzola, toch emunei am segula, boi chala, lechado di likrat kalai, yalalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Lechado di likrat kalai, yalalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Having brought in the Shabbat light, having brought in the Sabbath bride, turn to your neighbor. If you don't know them, introduce yourself and wish them a Shabbat Shalom. Now what you know what to call your neighbor, we call each other to prayer with the Baruch Hu, page 146. Yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai la lai lai la lai lai, yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai la lai lai la lai lai, yai lai 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 la lai, yai lai 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 la lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 la lai, yai lai 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 la lai, yai lai 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 lai. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Yai lai 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 la lai, yai lai 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 la lai, yai lai lai Page 147, we read responsively. Adonai, your majesty is proclaimed by the marvels of earth and sky. Sun, moon, and stars testify to your power and wisdom. Day follows day in endless succession,
and the years vanish, but your sovereignty endures.
Though all things pass, let not your glory depart from us. Help us to become co-workers with you and endow our fleeting days with abiding worth. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'ma'ariv ha'ravim. Page 148. We continue responsively. In each age we receive and transmit Torah. At each moment we are addressed by the world.
In each age we are challenged by our ancient teaching. At each moment we stand face to face with truth.
In each age we add our wisdom to that which has gone before. At each moment the knowing heart is filled with wonder.
In each age the children of Torah become its builders and seek to set the world firm on a foundation of truth.
Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 You may be seated as we join together on page 150 in Ve'ahavta. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavcha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom alevavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'derech uvshochbecha uvkumecha uvshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot beineinecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim le'elohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem le'elohim ani Adonai Elohechem emet. Page 152, we join together in our prayer of redemption, Mi Chamocha. Mi Chamocha ba'elim Adonai, Mi Chamocha nedar b'kodesh. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדע בקודש.
השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ותקננו ביצה טובה מלבנך, והושיענו למען שמך.
השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. פרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, פרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך. Page 154.
ושמרו עיני ישראל את השבת, את השבת, את השבת, לעשות Shameru Bnei Israel Et HaShabbat, Et HaShabbat, Et HaShabbat Sheshet Yamim Asadonai Et HaShamayim Ve'et Haaretz V'shameru Bnei Israel Et HaShabbat, Et HaShabbat, Et HaShabbat Vayom HaShvi Shabbat Vayi Nafal V'shameru Bnei Israel Et HaShabbat, Et HaShabbat, Et HaShabbat Et HaShabbat Et HaShabbat Et
We rise together on page 155 as we begin our amida together, and then we will continue silently through page 167. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Yalai, lai, lai, 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 yalalai. We continue individually through page 167. You may be seated when you have finished your amida.
fi v'hegyon libi lefanecha libi lefanecha
We turn to our prayer for healing as we ask for a refuah shlema, knowing that sometimes that healing is physical and sometimes it's emotional and sometimes it is spiritual. Within our community, the Shabbat, we are mindful of Ari Zalman Leigh, Ben Shoshana V'Moshe, Bob Berman, Lauren Berman, Ali Campbell-Foman, Ben Scheib, Tracy Carpenter, Glenda Carver, Shayna Chana Bat Pinchas V'Guta Rivka Schindel, Warren Dean, Elliot Epner, Sandy Flaster, Marcia Fram, Denise Garrick, Stephen Goldstein, Anita Hosenpud, Hector Islas, Ruth Jordan, Richard Kitson, David Kroll, Stephen Levine, Marshall J. Lewis, Mike Lynn, Jim McIndoe, Lisa Nelson, Sharon Resnick, Ruvain Ben Tzvia V'Yakov, Sharon Ritter, Jay Rosenberg, Ina Rosenthal, Galina Rybalchenko, Rosa Santiago, Jenny Schnitzer, Rhonda Schwartz, Bernice Sicklick, Christopher Smith, Robin Streichler, Seth Streichler, Lynn Slotkin, Natalie Wallen, Kathy Weil, George Wise, Alan J. Wolf, Sandy Wood, and Susan Zale. If there's a name on your heart that you would like to add to our prayers for healings, I invite you to share that name with the community as our eyes meet.
Terry Miller, Ian Brisky.
Page 253, our prayer for healing. Thank you, Natalie, Jamie, Ari, and Maya. Shabbat Shalom. This week's Torah portion, Parshat Korach, presents a challenging narrative that explores the dynamics of rebellion. Korach, a Levite, who was also Moses' first cousin, along with 250 other chieftains of the Israelite community, rise up against Moses, questioning why Moses and Aaron have placed themselves above the rest of the community when in reality, the entire Israelite community is holy. Then, in a fire pan ritual scene reminiscent of how Aaron's sons Nadab and Abihu were killed for their incorrect ritual, Korach and the other 250 leaders were consumed by fire. On the surface, it may appear that the story discourages differences in questioning authority. However, this interpretation seems contradictory to the core values of Jewish philosophy, which encourage questioning and challenging the status quo. We know that Jewish history is replete with instances where rebellion against oppression and injustice have played a pivotal role. The Exodus from Egypt, for instance, was a rebellion against Pharaoh's tyrannical rule. This highlights the inherent value Judaism places on questioning authority when it is oppressive or unjust. Therefore, we should seek a deeper understanding of why Korach's rebellion was met with such severe consequences. Rather than dismissing Korach's rebellion outright, we can examine the manner in which he chose to voice his dissent. Korach's approach was marked by divisiveness and self-interest, as he sought personal gain and power at the expense of unity. The Torah teaches us that constructive rebellion is not about promoting individual agendas or undermining communal harmony, but about pursuing justice and righteousness. Korach's rebellion, the rabbis argue, lacked these essential qualities, and it was this flawed approach that ultimately led to its downfall. The lesson derived from the story of Korach is not that differences in questioning authority are inherently bad. Instead, the Torah warns against petulant resistance and towards constructive rebellion, the kind rooted in genuine concerns and a commitment to justice. When we dismiss valid dissent or suppress critical voices, we perpetuate ignorance and stifle growth. True progress comes from engaging in thoughtful discourse, embracing diversity of thought, and finding a balance between respecting authority and nurturing a culture of accountability. Additionally, the Haftarah for Parshat Korach, found in the book of Samuel, offers further insight into the theme of constructive rebellion. The Haftarah recounts the story of the prophet Samuel anointing David as the future king of Israel, in defiance of the reigning monarch Saul. Samuel's act of rebellion was not driven by personal ambition or a desire to undermine authority, but rather a divine directive and a recognition of David's righteous qualities. This parallel between the Haftarah and the Torah portion reinforces the notion that constructive rebellion is not about challenging authority for its own sake, but about upholding principles of justice and aligning with the will of the divine. It reminds us that true leaders are willing to question and challenge the world that they are willing to challenge the world that is when it deviates from the path of righteousness, demonstrating the power of constructive rebellion in shaping the world that could be. Consider, for example, the rallies that continue in Israel, protesting the various judicial reforms presented by the Netanyahu government. Since the first protest on January 7th in Tel Aviv, Israelis and others who love Israel from around the world have regularly gathered to voice their opposition to these anti-democratic policies. Even Rabbi Navarez spoke at one of these rallies in San Diego just a few weeks ago. These rallies are examples of peaceful, ongoing, constructive rebellion. As modern Jews, we are called upon to embrace the spirit of constructive rebellion. We must continuously evaluate the systems and structures that govern our lives, ensuring that they align with our values and contribute to the greater good. By fostering an environment that encourages open dialogue, respectful dissent, and critical thinking, we can build a community that thrives on the principles of justice and integrity. Constructive rebellion challenges us to address societal inequalities, promote inclusivity, and actively work toward a more equitable world. Parshat Korach challenges our preconceived notions about rebellion and authority. Rather than painting rebellion with a broad brush, the story urges us to discern between destructive rebellion, motivated by self-interest, and constructive rebellion, driven by a pursuit for justice. By embracing the latter, we can create a vibrant and principled Jewish community that leads by example. Shabbat Shalom. I'd like to invite Mike Chasen up to offer some announcements from the congregation.
It's a little taller.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
My name is Mike Chasen, as the rabbi said, and I'm a little taller. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm very proud to serve as a member of our board of directors. I have a few brief announcements for you. First of all, welcome to our Shabbat under the stars. I think it's really going to happen tonight if you just stick around long enough for it to get dark out. So it's great to see some clear skies. I'd like to thank the Men's Club and Women of Beth Israel for ushering tonight's service. I'd like to remind you that, as always, you can find everything you need to know about Congregation Beth Israel on our website, cbisd.org. We invite you to join us in the Activity Center for our Torah Story group at 9 a.m., led by our own Rabbi Jeremy Gimbel, followed by our weekly Shabbat Minyan service at 10:30 in the chapel. June is Pride Month in San Diego, and we celebrate in July along with the Pride Parade on July 15th. Please go to our website and register to march with our Beth Israel contingency. You can join us anytime between 5 and 7 p.m. on Wednesday, July 12th for a poster and shirt making party in advance of the Pride Parade. You can make yourself an amazing poster and t-shirt to wear for the parade. All materials will be provided. Please sign up online. The Pride Shabbat is Friday, July 14th at 6:15 p.m. The Shabbat service promises to be a beautiful fusion of Shabbat traditions and spirit of pride. We'll rejoice in song, prayer, and reflection, celebrating the remarkable diversity and strength of our congregation. Following the service, we invite you to join us for a delightful oneg. I just have a couple brief remarks. I promise I won't take too long. I'm going to tell a story. It's going to wander a little bit, but I promise there will be a point to it, so just bear with me. As many of you know, and perhaps some of you might not, the building of our sanctuary in this courtyard is no coincidence. It's designed with Jerusalem stone to evoke a feel of their ancient city. So hopefully you know that and you recognize the natural beauty of the stone that is here and that is inside in our sanctuary. There's another even more amazing biblical story here on our campus. But I'm going to take a brief digression before I get to that. I'm going to thank Rabbi Jeremy for his sermon, because it's actually going to tie in nicely. A stunning coincidence, yes. I'm a natural skeptic. I don't do well with religion, and particularly stories like Exodus, I struggle with it. It's difficult for me to really believe, okay, how do we really part the Red Sea? How could Moses do such a thing? And my rabbi in my youth, Mordechai Finley, encouraged me to do a deeper dive into the research. And I was stunned to learn as a younger person that there actually is physical evidence of the parting of the Red Sea. Let me elaborate a little on this. What they were able to find, the archaeologists did, somehow were preserved are small pieces of parchment. I guess they were papyrus back then. And there was some very cryptic writing on it. Not just Egyptian hieroglyphic, but really cryptic stuff that our ancients weren't able to understand. And they were given these when they were brought into slavery in Egypt. And they were told, someday we're going to leave, but you have to have this with you. Don't lose this. So when the day came, I think this gentleman knows where the story is going. Yes, bear with me. When the day came to leave, our forefathers traveled to the Red Sea, and others were there to greet them. Now, I don't know how adhesives worked in the day, and Rabbi Finley wasn't super clear on that, but there were others there, and they gave them another similarly cryptic piece of writing, parchment, and they made it adhere to their original piece of parchment that they had. So they had cryptic writing on one side, cryptic writing on the other side. It was very mysterious. And then they went to Moses, and Moses scanned this small piece of paper, and the Red Sea parted. So why am I telling you this story? What possible relevance is there to it? What you're probably not aware is the architects who designed this to evoke the feeling of Jerusalem not only brought us this amazing campus, they brought us an equally incredible parking structure. Now, the reason why it's so amazing is that when you went into the parking structure, you were given a small piece of parchment, not papyrus, but you were given it with cryptic writing. None of you can read a barcode, right? Who can do that? And then in order to leave, you're going to have to see me or someone else with a blue name tag at the back, and we're going to give you a sticker. And you're going to put the sticker on the back side of the ticket. Don't block the other code, because Moses has been replaced by a laser system, and it's going to scan, the virtual Moses will scan both sides of the ticket, and you will be free to go to the promised land. Shabbat Shalom.
I could not have said that better myself. That's a Rambam. I know there are a lot of really wonderful Shabbatot coming up. I just want to put a plug in for next week as well. As we anticipate July 4th, next Friday night, next Shabbat, we're going to have the honor of having Rabbi Josh Serwin with us. He is a chaplain in the Marines, and he is going to be sharing about his experience as a chaplain for our armed services. So if you are able to be here next Friday, it is going to be an absolutely wonderful experience. Not that every Friday isn't a wonderful experience. We begin to conclude our service by turning to Aleinu L'Shabeach. We invite you to please rise as you're able. Aleinu L'Shabeach L'Adon HaKol Latet Gedula Leotzer Bereshit Shelo Asanu Kegoye Ha'aratzot Velo Samanu Kemishpechot Ha'adama Shelo Sam Chelkeinu Kahem Vegoralenu Kechol Hamonam V'anachnu koreim Umishtachavim Umodim Lifnei Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu V'ne'emar V'haya Adonai V'melech al kol ha'aretz Bayom ha'hu Yeh Adonai echad U'shemo echad. Please be seated. As we prepare for Kaddish Yatom, our mourners' Kaddish, we think of our loved ones who died at this season in years past and those who have died in recent days. If you hear the name of your loved one, we invite you to rise so that we might acknowledge your period of mourning. We are in Shloshim, the first 30 days following burial, for Jerry Siegel, Robert Shearer, Mayo Mickey Stiegler, Michelle Mayers, Dean Rostovsky, Amy Singer, Beverly Pollock, Gloria Reedy, Anita Lanner, Phyllis Tucker, and Larry Oster. We acknowledge the yahrzeit, the anniversary of passing of Amelia Bobby Aronson, Minnie Avidon, Robert J. Bailey, Muriel Bayer, David Bretto, Blanche Koplowitz Brown, Rebecca Rosenfeld de Norton, Buzz Faber, Ethel Feldman, Rose Fine, Sadie Fleischman, Morris Freed, Gustav Friedman, Barbara Gauther, Lillian Glazer, Rose Glass, Rosalind Goldsmith, Ariana Gray, Eli Greenberg, Helena Greenberg, Belle Green, Stuart Gruber, Bernat Grunwald, Benjamin Guterman, Mark Habelson, Vera Handler, Milton Hartman, Glenn Haskell, Janet Henry, Naomi Hirsch, Marguerite Cattleman, William Kenny, Pearl Kornbluth, Abner Kreisberg, David Krupman, Lorraine Curnow, Molly Kushner, Dora Lampert, Rosalie Levy, Harry Babe Levin, Myrna Lewis, Marjorie Liebschutz, Marnie Liebschutz, Philip Liff, Evelyn Lipschultz, Molly Mallinger, Orville Rubin Milstein, Araceli Morales Cornelio, Pearl Newton, Renee O'Rourke, Shirley Olson, Raymond Platt, Pauline Press, Louis Rieger, Chana Malka Rosenberg, Jeffrey Sampson, John Samuels, Mark Scheinbein, Marvin Silver, David Simon, Gary Alva Slepowitz, Donald Spielman, Abraham Steinberg, Clarice Steinberg, Morgan Milne Strand, Tamara Strauss, Betty Tyne, Joseph Turkle, Lewis Thomas, Harriet Kaplan Turberg, Wilbur M. Wagner, Melvin Lawrence Weissman, Margaret Weitz, Rabbi Martin M. Weitz, Vivian Weingrat, Don Wood, and Kathleen Zimmerman. Perhaps you've come to say Kaddish for a name that was not mentioned. I invite you to share that name as our eyes meet. And if you are joining us virtually, we invite you to share that name in the chat. Thank you. We rise together as a caring community as we turn to page 294 for Kaddish Yatom. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach hiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayeh dechol Beit Israel, ba'agala u'v'zman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'alam u'lalmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudsha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru.
Amen.
May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn, and comfort to all who are bereaved among us or wherever they may be. As together we say, Amen. I invite you to place your prayer book down as we prepare for our closing song, Oseh Shalom. Again, I just want to thank our incredible band and vocalists. Thank you all for adding so much ruach to our Shabbat worship together. We join together in Oseh Shalom. Shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru, amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru, amen. Shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru, Turn to your neighbor and wish them a Shabbat Shalom. As we join together in Motzi, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.